Hello everybody, I'm back again with these demon roll bases. So, I'm not happy with how blue the rock is. Like, I don't want it that, compared to everything else, it's not that, I think it's too overpowering. So I'm basically gonna dull it down, put more browns into it. Just quick washes, I think it's a little too much, like the washes just made too much. It looks too busy to me, so I'm gonna try and like even it out a bit as well. So I'm basically going to go and take a straight up Caspian Flesh Wash from P3. And I'm just going to just go to town. Because I'm also going to go back over with like a gray, less unsaturated bluish gray. And so, and just lighten up some areas too. And also like make it a little less. So here I'm just gonna kind of mellowing out the blue a bit. And then once I'm done the rock here, I'll go and start doing some details like the eyes on the all of the little organic looking stone. And also the skulls, actually. I'll do some skulls too, because this will take a little while to dry, so I'm just gonna smother this around a little bit and start working on some skulls. Let's see. Alright. Careful not to put on anywhere that I've painted on the organic rock. Demon rock, I'm gonna call it. Okay. Yeah, because this is just way too uniform and kind of boring, this rock. So, just gonna add a bunch of more neutral colors to it. Give it a bit more variety. This is way too blue. I don't like that at all. Like almost saturated things here. Okay. The highlighting will get rid of that too. A little more variety. That's why I'm adding all this Caspian Flesh Wash. Okay. Oh, nope, I missed one. Okay. So, let me just fix that chord issue. We are going to work on some skulls. So I'm going back over with the mouth white base. And it's reapplied, basically reclaiming some areas that may have been darkened a little too much. So let's do you. Because the washes have darkened my base coat of mouth white, I can go back over and it'll look much brighter. The trick is don't go too thick. Just thin layers. There we go. That looks much better. Okay.
Your music's off.
The music's off?
Oh, it's so low.
Okay, I'm just gonna increase the music a little bit. How's that sound?
That's fine.
Okay. And same with the teeth. I'm being a little lazy. I'm just gonna do the teeth the same color as the bone. There we go. also nice some teeth on this guy too. This guy's got lots of teeth. I'm only gonna really highlight the bottom ones. That's where the light will hit it, because the jaw is kind of like shading the upper teeth. Playing that nose hole and the brow. This was a bit of a cartoony looking skull. Kind of like it. I'll pick out these teeth individually, just on their tips. And some of the brow edges. There's a lot of skulls in this guy. It's kind of like how it's probably been eating passerbys and just releasing the skulls, burping them up or something. I'll go back over and just do more extreme highlights, which is a little bit of more white mixed in its mouth white. I'll brighten it up. And give it more depth and character. How these skulls turn out. Wide variety of kind of cartoony looking ones to like very realistic ones. I'm just using a number 4 brush here, by the way. Some of you guys might say it's too big of a brush. As long as the tip's good, you can do much more details very easily with it. And it's nice and big, so it carries a lot of. The paint reservoir is huge. Here's the happy one. Happy little skeleton. I did overpaint this guy a little bit with the darker colors. Made a slightly not nice looking blob on his skull. Alright. That's all the skulls. Let's add a bit of more white now. And I'll just be a quick little highlight. Retain this brush too. Okay. So just like the. Oh, that's good, yeah. I like that. Okay. For these, I'm just more like a blob, like a little light speck. Like lights hitting these teeth and they're like wet. So they're kind of shiny. I'll probably, once I've done these bases, because I normally seal them with like a gloss and then a dull coat, so it really cuts through all of the like any kind of shine. I'll go back over like a satin and give the teeth a little bit of a shine to it, and then I'll give the eyeball the gloss, and it looks really nice. But I won't do that in camera. It'll take a few days for this to dry and redo the dull coat and gloss. It takes about a day between coats. And I do about 2 to 3. 1 coat of gloss and then the 1 or 2 coats of dull coat. Sometimes the first coat of dull coat doesn't cut down the shine enough, so let's do a second. Okay. So a little bit on the raised brows areas. But a little too much paint, I like that. It's like dab it off with my finger. It still retains some of the paint, but not a full amount that was previous. Here's the goat skull that I sculpted on this base. Here's a very angry one, kind of realistic looking skull. He's missing a tooth. Alright. This guy. This is like the sad looking one. Maybe surprised looking. I think he's actually looks kind of happy. There's a big grin on him. Just a little tip of his chin will give a highlight. Just to exaggerate some of the features. Pick up most individual teeth, at least the ones that are very front, so like the first 3 or 4. Maybe a little bit of speckling, because to be fair, a lot of bone is quite bumpy, especially when it's out of the body for a while. Okay. Oh yeah, this guy's teeth. I almost forgot that one. Alright. Now the brown is probably dried. The brown wash. Just looking at it, yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm going to just take this gray coat gray, which is the bluish gray that I was using before, a little too saturated, and I'm just gonna desaturate it a bit more. Open the window a bit more. It's kind of warm in here. So I'm gonna take some Crick's Bane, Crick's Bane highlight. I'm gonna add a bit of this. It could have a green to it. It's also a lot less saturated than that gray coat gray. And then I also want to use this just as like a highlight, like a very thin, like kind of like how I was highlighting the demon rock, the fleshy, like colorful rock. Let's go back over it with a very thin layer, multiple thin layers. And just brighten it up and kind of desaturate it. Same process. Just I didn't. And so here, I'm actually use a better brush because you want to have like a. This brush has got too much pigment on it. You see, like it's old, not very great brush. You see, a big patch of pigment. You don't want that. I'm gonna do. This one's old and still doesn't have like the greatest tip, but there's a lot of pigment. There's like basically no pigment at all stuck to the tips of the bristles anyway. Or maybe just the white pigment is stuck. And it's harder to tell. Either way, I think this will be better. So, I'm just going to go and lightly apply this gray. And maybe more of this color. Just a bit more. Just to cut down that blue. Okay, and then needs more white because it's too dark now. Okay. Let's try that. And it's still retaining some of the other colors below it. So all like the washes and stuff. But it's kind of decreasing the contrast is what I want because it's a little too busy. Just want to simplify that rock a bit more. I like that a lot. And I'm also like, as you can see, I'm kind of going towards the edges, so I want to go this way. So normally where you start is like the least amount of paint, and when you go to at the end point is the most, because paint kind of pulls that direction. So that's what I'm trying to do here. So my brush lingers longer in this area. I'm going and stroking like this. So I start here, and then go here. It's pushing all the paint on my brush in that direction. Since there's a nice thin coat of gray, I'm still retaining a lot of the base colors. That blues and greens and browns. So it kind of gives it more interesting, but still simplifying. I'm liking this a lot more. Yeah, it looks much more simpler now. I was just way too busy before. Okay. Like a lot of this process is trial and error. Because I haven't really done it using like all the washes like that. I normally just use it very small amounts, very small amounts, very sparingly, just to add a couple, like, you know, like if you wanted to do an eyeball and add a little bit of red right where the eye meets the skin, something like that. Something small and delicate. I'm just going to try and do a little more whitey gray on the tips. That's where the light would hit it the most. Just in the edges. Give a bit more character. Yeah, I like that a lot. Okay. One rock down. Quite a bit again. So I'm always push my brush in the direction where I want it to build, retain the most of its color. So I want the edges, so I'm going towards edges with the brush. We're doing very loose, very gently, so it doesn't go into the crevices, because you want to retain the darker colors, darker elements, and crevices. Okay. That's good enough for that one. I have to darken this one a bit more. Black, very thin amount black, just give it some more depth. It's a little too bright. Okay. It's much better this way. Okay. So And try and make the edges just have a bit more light to them. That light would hit them the most and catch. Too much there. Oh well. I like how this rock's turning them down. Much more natural looking. I'm not too busy anymore. I mean, I probably could be toned down a bit more, but I think this is fine. I don't know if I might go into a bit of a lighter white color just a little bit on the edges, but I think it'll be fine for now. Probably do it off screen. I'll probably also do it once I've sealed it, because the sealing can change a little bit. Depends how thin your paints are. The thinner your paints, the more the gloss coat can like affect it, because it's kind of reactivating the paints a bit. So just things to think about. You should be fine on all this kind of stuff though. It also helps deepen the colors too a bit. I feel like I should do a white on the edges. Because I got the weight out right now, I can just do it very quickly. A very thin white. Be fast. I get everything organized, so I just do it. Maybe I will. Yeah, I'm toning down these rocks quite a bit, so they're nice and more neutral, but a little more interesting. So maybe that white will do. Okay, so let's take this white and just do a little bit on the edges. Just give a little bit of pop. Yeah, I like that a lot. All right, not super realistic, but give it a make it much more interesting. Yeah, okay, definitely needed. Yeah. I like that one a lot. Okay. Rocks can always use that edge highlight, apparently. This looks a lot better. Okay, I gotta stop before I go too overboard. Alright. That has a nice extra bit of depth, that white edging. Might put more on this edge. These rocks probably need a little bit of depth, so you might need to darken them a bit. Especially this one right here. It lightens up too much. Alright, so I'm just going to try and do the edges the most. Just the most cover these edges. Whoops, way too much paint there. And then drawing chin, chin, chin. Okay. I'm going good. Okay. These also probably need more deepening. Those rocks are a little too bright. As I highlight them more. Oh well. This will need to keep that edge highlight. Okay, so let's give a nice edge here. And these will be a bit more trimmed up on the bottom, but you never really see that area anyway, so I'm not too concerned. And we're in the last one now. And then I think we're doing the eyes actually now next. Then I'll like the skulls, I think. Letting out. It's a bit too thick of a white and thinner. At least for the darker areas anyway. Okay. I was told I should talk better. I'm just mumbling to myself a little bit. It's okay. If you guys have any questions, just let me know and I'll happy to reply in a real voice. Oops. Alright. And make sure those edges are nice and crisp because it's a rock, right? So rocks don't have soft edges, they have nice and hard ones. So, but not too extreme, right? had it too extreme before, and I didn't like that, so it was too busy. It was too much contrast. So just toned it down a little bit. That was much more softer, natural-looking rock, I think. Okay, so teeth are done, and let's do some eyes. Let's do red, evil, nasty-looking eyes. So we're gonna do some Scorn, or no, it's not Scorn. This is a Catter Red base, which is nice vibrant red. I'm gonna find all the little eyes. I've sculpted a lot on these guys. So no eyes in that guy, no eyes in that one. He has eyes, no eyes, no eyes, no eyes, lots of eyes. Actually, no eyes in that one, eyes, no eyes, no eyes. Actually, sorry, only 3 apparently, but there's a lot in this one. So this one's got a whole bunch of hidden ones. This guy's got quite a few. So what is I going through? Sorry about that. Spring, right? Okay. Yeah, this is the guy with the tiny hidden eyes. I think those are all the ones. And then this guy. So many. I'll have to fix that later, I guess. It's way drier. Still using just the number 4 brush because it's got a good enough tip for pretty much anything I've got on these bases. So, yeah. All right. So I'm basically gonna highlight these red little eyes with some orange, I guess, and bring up to yellow a bit, and then maybe even in yellow. If I was feeling really fancy, I'd probably make some of these eyes like white, like more humanoid, but I think it'd look better just red for now. Clearly define what is what. Red eyes or red. Don't make it too busy. That's where we got mouths and eyes in random places. And cracks and stuff. Okay. It's like a bug eye, so I'll paint it in black, I think, later. And now I'm gonna gloss it out. Put a gloss on all the eyeballs, so I think I always find a little bit of gloss really helps the eyes. Even if you had little white dots. A little white dot with the gloss. Looks really good. There's the eyes. Multiple eyeballs in the same eyelid. Extra creepy. And is that? Yeah, that's all the eyes. Alright. So, let's just take a bit of Catter Red highlight, which is an orange. Kind of deceiving. And I'm probably going to mix it a bit with the red, depending. Let's go back to this guy. He's the first one I did. See if I need to do. Let's see. I think it'll be okay. I can probably go back and tone down the orange. Okay, that was way too much orange. If I want the red. Okay. Make some of these eyes look in different directions. Make it look extra creepy, like it's all looking at random spots instead of in one direction. I always prefer painting eyes that look not straight ahead, because I always find straight ahead looks boring and uninteresting. So I always like to have them like looking side to side, shifty. I'll go back to that one, touch up the orange a bit. Okay. Those some of these smaller eyes, I'm gonna have to just like make them go straight on. But for the bigger ones, I can play around a bit more. More space to feel around in. A little bit of hair on the tip of my brush is coming off. Remove it manually. I think it was a bit of fluff that was stuck to my brush. I think I'm gonna go for orange or yellow after I've done the orange again instead of what, and then I might go with red just to bring down some of the highlights. We'll see. Because the eye's got like a iris, right? And so it's kind of, it's not smooth. It's got like ligaments kind of thing of how it pulls, opens and closes your pupil, right? So they're all gonna have little pupils too. Make it look nice and creepy. Even some of the bigger ones, I wanna give them interesting pupil shapes. Because goats have like a weird, almost like a sideways hourglass shape. So I might do that in some of them. Do some circles, do some snake or cat eyes, slits, whatever you want. If you guys have any suggestions for pupil shapes, just let me know. Okay, so there's some yellow. So this is a sulfuric yellow. This is a like an unsaturated yellow. It's nice, but I'm not. Let's try straight yellow first before I mix it with orange. Might not need to. No, I'm gonna just cut it a little bit of orange. A little better. I have to go back over to black and just give them the pupils. Make it just everywhere. Creepy and demonic is the goal. These are demon world bases. Okay. I forget what kind of pupil shape I want to do that big eyeball. Lots of things to do with that one. Okay. Last one. Looking much creepier now. It's got little eyeballs that are much more evident. So let's get a smaller brush for the pupils. And let's give it some direction. So make these ones slits. They look creepy. Okay. This one I'm gonna make a ball. Let's just get side split. Next one, circle. Make this one slit. I'll make these ones because they're so tiny little dots. And there's gotta be a dot as well. Yeah, a little creepy, isn't it? This one's the main event here. Let's make this one slit. Should be a dot. Maybe okay, it's a slit now. Dot. Oh, I forgot this eye completely. Totally forgot the eye here. I'll go back and give it a pupil as the last one. Give it time to dry. Got some water in my hand. It's not good. And then little dots. A little bit of mascara. I'm also going to use this opportunity because I got the. Just going to pick out the detail on these teeth a bit more. since I already have the black on my brush. So I got a nice thin brush here. I'm gonna pick out this guy's eyes again. So it's got a bit more, a nice border to it. Very important. A little bit of mascara kind of look really helps, especially if you're going for an evil look. There we go. Look, he's ready for somebody else to eat. Of course, you don't have to paint him like that. You can paint him any way you want. Those eyes, you just turn them into gems or just leave it as rock. Instead of a weird mouth. Okay. I'm gonna pick out a little more eyes, a little more. Just around the edges. This brush is way too thin. I don't like that. Let's go back to the 4. The old trusty 4. There, good enough. Let's help define the pupil edge. Oops. Right. Oh yeah, I got a lot. Just a little bit of yellow just makes that pupil pop. Oh, okay. I'm probably not going to give him the white specks, but I will just definitely give some gloss. Oh, trying to find that border a bit more. It's very cartoony looking, but I think it's very effective. Not these things are really supposed to be like realistic anyway, being all demon worldy. Okay, this one I haven't gotten around to figuring out how I want this one done. Oh no, a little black on my finger rubbed off. No, okay, it was just a dried black something. Alright, so let's figure out. Let's make it like a goat, I guess, the hourglass. I can look into his eye. There we go. And make it pop with a bit of yellow. Just around the edge. It doesn't have to be like a straight line, just because of how the muscle pigments work. Kind of radiates out from the center. There we go. Nice and oh, I missed this one. These are some dots, because why not? They're too small to really give them an interesting eye shape. So let's see. Just to get a nice contrast. Ah, I even missed this eye. Too many eyes, I keep on missing them. Alright. So, after this little peck, I think I've got all the eyes. As I continue to peck more eye details. Actually, this one here, I didn't do a good job, so I'm just gonna blend this a little better before I forget. A little bit of white blending. There we go. Alright. I am happy with that. This one's especially creepy. feed me. Okay. So, bones done. Let's do some tongues, I guess. It's not many tongues. So okay, so there's this one has tongues. Is that it? Okay, I'll do the tongue same time as the flesh. There's 3 fleshy dead corpses and there's his tongue. I also want to touch up the hands a bit too, but like these hands right here. Let's see. Maybe I'll do it off stream. I'll just have to black out the borders, but I black out the bases right here, but I'll just do it off stream. So let's just get a new sheet of paper, and I'll just finish up the bases for today, and then I'll posting them middle of the week probably after everything's dried. So I'll be doing the flesh, and that's about it. So I want them to be dead, so I'm pale looking. So I'm gonna do some thrall flesh. This is basically the same color I used for the hands, but I'm gonna make it slightly different, I think. And I'm going to add some cream, which is the mouth white. So it's a bit of green, a bit of yellow. And I'm just going to do a nice base. I'm going to add a whole bunch of white. Okay. I definitely touch this guy's face. His face is a little too muddy. The skull right here, but I'll do it off stream. Lots of little nitpick things I gotta fix up. Not very interesting to fix. It just takes time. Also, these spikes, I'll make them dark brown or whatever. Something kind of neutral. Okay. I think I'm gonna do the tongues the same color as his flesh. It doesn't have to be something amazingly different. It just has to be something that's different on that type of base. So okay. Blocking out the flesh in this guy, these corpses. Little tubes hanging to them too. Metallic rings stuck in their flesh. Okay. This guy is probably the most relaxed guy. Just taking a little nap here. Just found a like, cozy little corner here and just taking a little dirt nap. Of course he's missing his legs, but that's fine. Can't have a good nap on Demon Planet, Demon World. Okay. So I'll just do the tongues the same color. And when I add the pink, I'll just add more pink to the tongues than these guys. I guess the demon tongues don't actually have to be pink, but whatever. It's a tongue. Tongues. People expect them to be pink. And so, just be lazy with the design. You want people to look at these things. Oh yeah, say that's a tongue. Not say it's like, what is that thing? It's green. It's weird. I don't understand it. I'll leave people to paint them to any color they want, but I want them to say this is a tongue up on the web store. Okay. There we go. Very tongue-like. So let's go back to, oops. Make sure it's a solid coat. Go back to the first guy and just make sure the top layer is all solid. Some problems. Not patchy, not no dark colors showing through, and then also make sure you haven't missed anything. Let's clean my brush. Unfortunately, it might take a little while for this to dry. Because I want to make sure it's got a nice solid coat. So what else can I work on? I'll wait for that to dry. I guess I also touch up the skulls a bit. So this is Menoth white base. I'm just going to take a little bit of it and just try to blend some of these a little better together. There's a little bit of a harsh edge right there I wanted to get rid of. And there we go. Because right there was a problem. And then maybe lighten up this area a bit. Yeah, his teeth. Give him a better border. There we go. Looks happy already. I also painted here with some dark color. Lighten this area up again. And then we define this brow edge a bit better. Let's see. Running out of my cream. Let's get some more cream. Okay. Make sure the edges get a nice solid coat of cream on it. So let's see now. To make sure I'm gonna reclaim all the areas that I might have overpainted. There we go. Sometimes it gets a little too grainy, so I'm trying to smooth it out a bit too. It's always a good thing to do. Some methods I can do just because it's a bit grainy for some reason. So go back and smooth things out is always a good idea. Okay. I'm just going to take some white and just get rid of the creamy area and just brighten it up. So just around the edges right here. Because the rest of the edges are very not as creamy, they're more desaturated yellowy white. Just want to kind of retain the same kind of tone as the rest of the highlights. Maybe a little more white. It's a little too creamy still. There we go. Let's try that. Nice thin coat. Yeah. I like that. Nope. Too much there. Okay. Whoop, oh. A bit of white paint on my finger. Not good. Okay. Try and rub it off. Yeah, it was okay. My white paint likes to explode sometimes and leak white paint everywhere, so sometimes it gets in places where I don't expect, and then it gets on my fingers, and then it gets on my models. It's not nice. It's only the white paint too, it's weird. Okay. there. I'm just gonna... And then what else was there? That one, oh, this one here. It's along the nose bone, nose hole. Too yellow. Okay. Some of these teeth I could probably just define a bit better. Most of the cracks. This is basically the same colors I was using before. I think it actually was the same color. Using the creamy bone for the teeth and the skulls, or the giant skulls. So I think it works fine. Okay, this guy's teeth too. Just to help pick up some of the detail, which I might have been a little too muddy with all my washes and touching. Okay. Yeah, a little better. A little more defined now. Okay. He's a happy guy. So let's go and pick some more white. And work on the flesh now. Push these away, they're not needed. Flesh bits. And just add some more white to this. I'll burn it up. And lighten it without adding, with decreasing, it'll decrease the saturation as well. Because all these raised areas are kind of, the light's hitting it and kind of reflecting a bit, right? So it reflects a bit of the sun. So the sun is basically a white paint, well, yellow, but for purpose of this, it'll be white, and so this reflects the white, which kind of desaturates that reflective area, but just in the most extreme areas. So it's a good way to highlight the muscles. Still very thin in the fingers and stuff. Just Mr. Muscle man here. Okay. Just gonna define that jaw a bit better. Jaw edge at the least. Oops. On top of the miniatures. So you can chip it. Okay. Last guy. Yeah, trying to climb up a little too high of a cliff. Or a mountain or something. You almost made it. It's not quite like a human skin tone. It's a bit yellowy green. Okay. Well, everybody's missing parts, so I'm just gonna try to make it look like they've been dead for a little while. I'm not trying to make it too gory because I'm probably a little off-putting for some people. Oh! I just spilled my water everywhere. Alright. Let's see. It's a little unfortunate. Quickly clean up my brush so I don't ruin a brush. Okay. I have 2 cups of water here, so let's quickly just get a towel Mop it up. Okay. Technical problems right now. Alright, that'll be good enough for now, I think. I'll clean that better later, but majority is toweled up. So let's finish up the flesh before I ruin anything else. Okay, so the flesh is just going to be on these 4 things: the tongues and the 3 corpses. Oops, almost moved the tongues away. Okay, so then flesh is going to be a combination of the thrall flesh, which is right here, and a sanguine base, which is, where did that go now? Got lost in my cleaning efforts. Here we go. So, and it's a green turp with a bit of red. Kind of gives it a weird color. I like it though, just when you add it to the model. Turns out quite nice. At least for like off-putting flesh color anyway. So, I think this guy's the driest. Do a thin layer. And just blend it around. And remove a little bit with my finger. Most raised areas anyway. Places where you can't use your finger, just try and use your brush, a clean brush. Okay. So it kind of gives some like a little more fleshy tones to it. It's less green and yellow. Kind of gives it a bit more life, but still a little, not quite living. I'll probably go back over it as like the Caspian flesh wash. Just a bit of yellow to it. But brownish red, yellow, sorry. That'll help. Okay. So let's start with this guy's bottom of his head. I'm going to tease that paint to the lighter areas. With a fanning motion. And then around the face, I'm just going to start removing some with my finger. So it still retains the paint in like the recessed areas, like his jowls and whatever, his eyes. Okay. So we do it thin enough it kind of pools, kind of like a little bit like an ink. And so you can kind of use that to your advantage. I like the P3 paints because if you do just the right consistency, it works great. So I won't be finishing you guys today. I'll just, it's a lot of little nitpicking to basically make them look great for like my web store, so I'm just gonna do the basics. So just the majority of the flesh, not any like the details on the eyes or whatever. It's just too little tedious to do on camera. Plus, it's harder to do with the camera in the way, so I wouldn't be able to give you a good example of it anyway. Okay. Last corpse. And then I do a bunch of tongues. So, I don't want it to look too living, but I want it to look still like a little bit of human flesh. And that red kind of just gives a nice little semi-living feel, or once living feel. Great for like zombies. The blood's kind of pooled there or something. It gets dark, right? Pooled blood, it starts coagulating. It's like a dark brownish color, so the same base is not really like a bright red, it's like a burgundy kind of color, so it's desaturated. Gives a bit of purple, which some corpses kind of look like, depending on, I guess, how they died. But this is kind of like based off of like movies and stuff like that. I haven't really Googled like actual corpses because that's just a little too morbid for me right now. I want something, you know, that's not so grotesque, I guess. When people say this is a corpse, but I'll be like, I'm gonna start throwing up, for example. Because I don't want that. I'm not that edgy. I always like cartoony stuff. It's miniature, right? No need to make it look that realistic. Because it's, you know, such a small scale. You never need it, that's that realistic. Okay. And then tongues now. So I think because like I was going to do the Caspian flesh on the bodies, I'll just do a different wash on these guys. I'll probably use the Cardiff, or actually no, I'll probably use the just the straight up flesh wash. So it'll look similar, but a little different. Just enough different to make it look like it's not the same thing. But I'm being kind of lazy and just using the exact same method up to the very end. I call it being efficient, actually, not being lazy. It's just being efficient with your time. Okay, let's not knock over the water again. So, I'm gonna just pick out some more of the highlights again, just a bit, so the wash will blend it together. It's not. There we go. Just give it a bit more depth before, because the wash will kind of blend the highlights back into the rest of it. But if I had highlighted, or if I didn't highlight it, I think it'd be too muddy and wouldn't have enough definition, so I'm trying to define things more so the wash can kind of put all the tones back together and do its thing. Right. Yeah, the extra pale colors make it look much more corpse-like, isn't it? Okay. I'm probably going too fast. I should slow down, being a little sloppy. But I'm almost done, so just want to be free. Get a little hungry. Okay. So, just picking out some anatomy. It's a little more realistic. This guy looks a little sad, doesn't he? Okay. And then I think after this guy, we're gonna do some washing. Actually, I'm gonna do the tongue still. Use the same color, so why not? Ah. Just gonna pick out the edges, basically. The light will hit it the most, to reflect the most, really. Because the tongue will be quite glossy, so I'm just gonna pick it out. And the light will be hitting it, reflecting off the edges and like the bumps right here. So this one's got giant taste buds. It's nice to lick and taste things. There we go. Okay, let's take some. I'm just gonna use Caspian here, like I said. Now, after I spill my water, I've lost position of my paints. There we go. So I'm just gonna take some Caspian, and I'm gonna add a bit of mixing medium just to thicken it out, basically, so I can goop it on more. I'm gonna use a worse brush. I don't need a good brush for this application. Sorry about that. This is it's brownish, yellowish kind of combination. It's nice for a natural skin tone, depending on your skin. But let's see if I can do this. It might actually be too yellow. And it's also too. I'm gonna add a bit more. It might be too thin. That mixing might have thinned it out too much. So let's do another drop. I know it looks milky, but it won't dry like that. So just be aware if you're using mixing medium. I think that's good. There you go. It's not too bad. I could probably go back and pick out some more like the sinews and muscles more if I wanted to. And also definitely pick out between the fingers. Not dark enough in there, but I think it's fine for now. But it's not too saturated, right? Because I don't want the corpses to look like they're still living. So hence the low saturation count on these guys. Oh. Okay. And the last guy. So it makes me kind of get like less of a hard edge when it pools in places. So we can kind of glop it on and give you more of a transition, really. That's what I like about it. It also gives you longer time to play with it too, because it's retards the drying time. Okay, that turned out pretty good. And you also want to just start moving some of it too. It pools too much in one area, because sometimes it pools in spots you don't want it to pool, like flat areas, which no one wants a flat area to have a weird spot of color. And I've had new finger painting just to remove some of the paint. There we go. There's number 3 corpse. And so for the tongues, I'm going to use Flesh Wash. It's higher saturation, it's more red. So it makes the tongue a little more tongue instead of being corpsey. Okay, let's try that. Less mixing media this time. Just try that. Yeah, that's very tongue-like, isn't it? Soft pink tongue. I like that. You just want to lick things. It's like a friendly dog or something. These weird maggot rock or mouth things. Oops. A little paint there. Alright. Not too bad. Okay, I think that's about it for the most part on these guys. The rest of it is just very small tweaking and touching up. Like, I'll have to pick out this guy's facial details and the tubes in his arms and stuff like that in this part. And this skull turned out not great. I'm gonna fix that too. Just, what else? Just maybe give these rocks a harder edge between like the skull and the natural bluish rock. It's just a little too muddy, so I'll define that up more. This is probably okay. I might just darken some areas like in the back here, just deepen a bit. Same with this part right here, as it needs to be darker. And as well as here. And then here, what else would I change in this guy? I think it's okay. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. This is okay too. I might need to blend that a little better on the inside. I got a harder streak in the middle. A couple things that touch up. This one's actually not bad. Let's see. Very creepy little mouth tentacles. On these guys, I definitely need to just do a little more picking out on the knuckles and stuff like that. Some anatomy, just to give it a little more definition. To make it stand out a bit more, because they're definitely hands, but you want to make the knuckles stand out. It really helps. Yeah, the rocks here, I need to just darken them up. There's little things I need to touch up. Of course, I'm gonna make sure I get a nice solid black band around here before I seal it. Always make sure to seal before you do a gloss coat. If you prime white, paint this black first, and then do the gloss coat. It'll really protect that black paint on the edge, because I always find people pick up the model by the edge or the base, right? And it always chips a little bit, so the gloss really helps protect that. What else I might change? Probably yeah, just these guys to be dark spikes. Have we found? To see, if found somebody to raid. Okay, we have found somebody to raid. Thanks to my girlfriend moderator. Very nice. Thank you for watching, and we'll be raiding somebody else shortly. We'll be back Tuesday at 2, and I will be doing. Oh, what am I doing on Tuesday?
Some sort of space.
I'm doing a Primaris Hellblaster, just one single guy to show you how I like to do battle damage and stuff. All right, enjoy the rest of your day.
Oops.
What?
It jumped you.